Hey everyone. Hey, we are doing an ACOTAR mini-series here. That's what this whole little episode is. Now, if you have read ACOTAR, of course, you already know everything that's happening. If you have not read ACOTAR, there is going to be some spoilers. Now, if you don't mind spoilers, please continue on with us. Otherwise, you might want to wait until you read it.
This one is the one with Archeron sisters and their mother's secrets.
Hey, book babes. Welcome to Two Girls, One TBR, your chaotic book besties here to wreck your reading list one morally gray man at a time. I'm Rebecca, and I'm deep in my villain era. And you can find me on Instagram at Azrella Reads.
And I'm Chelsea. If I'm not narrating, I'm reading everything I can get my hands on. My TBR pile could crush me in my sleep, but that's half the fun. Find me at Chelsea in Chapters on Instagram.
So, hey, how have you been doing? Have you been reading anything good?
Yes, actually.
What have you
Would
been
never
reading?
pick up a cowboy romance, but borrowed some from my sister-in-law. These Elsie Silver, what was the first one called? Flawless, just finished. And now I'm starting Heartless. They are so good.
I've heard a lot about her. Like
Yeah.
if you do like cowboy romances and stuff, that she does that.
hmm
She is not on
Never would have
my
picked it.
my list.
Yeah. Okay. So was never on my TBR pile, but now that I had them, I'm like, well, I borrowed them, so I have to read them. And I was blown away with actually how good there's in the first one, there's forced proximity, one bed
Um,
situation. Oh, so good.
Maybe I will dip my
Mhm.
toe into it one day
Yeah. If you need a
once I'm
good,
out
like,
of
little
my villain era.
palate cleanser, yeah, a little palate cleanser in between the romantasy and then
Huh.
yeah.
Interesting. Food for thought.
What about you?
Now, I'm gonna show, I am reading the Witchwalker series, which the first book is The Witch Collector. It is very good. It is, um, well, I guess it would be forced proximity, enemies to lovers kind of thing happening. The
Okay.
female main character in the book, she has no voice, so she has to sign. So that's different. And she's with this guy. I'm only so far into the book, and
Okay.
she's now forced that she has to be with the witch collector. And he's like the most handsome man she's ever seen. And if I remember right, his eyes are green and they glow. And it's just like, I don't know. It's very good. I'm
Is it
enjoying
like
it so far.
Little Mermaid, her voice got taken away, or has she always been mute?
I think she's always been mute. I think she can hear because people will talk unless she can read their lips. I'm not 100%
Okay.
like on that, but
You
I
haven't
know she
gotten there
has
yet?
no voice
Okay.
and
But you
she
don't know
has
the
to sign.
backstory yet.
No, I only know
Okay.
little bits and stuff. I just know a little bit about her because you follow her at the beginning, and every year, I guess, the witch collector comes and he collects one of the witches from their village because I guess in their world, the witches they like sing, I guess their spell or whatever to make like a protective wall. I
Mhm.
get that's how I'm. That's at least what
Okay.
I'm gathering from all of it.
Yeah.
And he always would gather different ones. And he took her sister about 8 years prior
Okay.
because her sister was a strong witch. And unbeknownst to her, his sis or her sister's been talking with him, made a deal, please don't take my sister, please don't collect her. But now he has to collect her because of things that are happening, because he
Okay.
realizes that she's more than just what she even presented herself as.
Okay.
So all this stuff's happening. So they're having like their families have like this celebration thing going on, like a harvest festival kind of thing, and they're waiting for the witch collector to come to see if he's going to take somebody from their village. And he arrives late, and she doesn't know this, but there's like people coming from the east, and they're attacking and they're killing everybody, and the witch collector's trying to get ahead of all of them to warn people ahead of time to try to get a barrier up, that kind of thing. But these people are like insanely strong. Magic is behind them. And all this is happening, and she's wanting, to kill the witch collector because one, he took her sister, and she has this weapon. It's like a god weapon or god bone or something. And she wants to kill him. So
Huh.
she doesn't really like him, but yet now she's forced she has to be with him. So that's where
Yeah.
I'm at in the book, and it's good. And I think
Interesting.
well, from what I've understood, it's going to be spicy as it goes on,
Okay.
but I haven't had
Yeah.
any spicy moments yet.
I like the
Well,
cover already. It's gorgeous.
what's very pretty, I've had this book since last fall, but I
Okay.
didn't have the other books. So I just kinda waited because 'cause I've had so many other things going on,
Mhm.
and now I have book 2, and I think it's a novella is the 3rd
Okay.
one, and then now I have to wait. I think the one is coming out hopefully this fall. She hasn't announced it, but
Is that an indie author or is she
I
tr
yeah, I believe she is.
Okay.
It's, Charissa Weeks,
Okay.
because I remember she pronounced because I was pronouncing it wrong, and I seen where she said it's like even though it's CH, but it's like an SH. So, Charissa, Charissa,
Not
because I
not
mispronounce
Charissa.
everything. I mispronounce everything. I
Yeah.
mispronounce everyone's names, but I did look that one up, and could still be very wrong yet. Who knows?
Who knows if we even got our title right?
Who knows?
No
Oh, yeah,
clue.
because well, Archeron, Art I don't know. It could be something completely different. I'm gonna say Archeron, but I might
Archeron.
say
That's
something
what we're
else
going
throughout
with.
the episode. I could say
Yeah.
something else, so who knows? If you hear it, you know what I'm talking about. But, that's it. That's my main thing. That's what I've been doing. That's the book I've been reading. And then, of course, we started homeschool and all that stuff, so it's been kinda crazy here at my house. So
Yeah.
and then, of course, preparing for this and that kinda thing. You've been kinda doing the
Yeah.
same kinda thing.
Yeah. Homeschool, luckily, we've only been doing I'm putting them in a little hybrid course this year. So we're really only getting caught up on math until September starts. So we're easing into it, which is nice.
I
We'll
have
see.
3, and it's 3 different grades. This year, though, amazingly, they have been the most cooperative out of all the years I've done school.
Wow.
We'll see. Is it just
That's
a
awesome.
fleeting moment? I don't know, but at least I'll take it for right now.
Time will tell. Yeah.
Time will tell. All right. So, all right, book babes. Today we're going to dive into the Archeron sisters, Feyre, Nesta, and Elaine, and theories about who their mysterious mother really was. Mm, I'm interested to see what you all think. Now, I have my thoughts. I found a lot of different theories. Chelsea has her thoughts, but we want to hear from you guys also. So if you have any theories or anything that we do not touch on, let us know. Send us a DM on our Instagram at Two Girls One TBR, and then we'll mention it the next time we're talking. We'll include it in our little mini series here.
Yeah. This is definitely going to be an ongoing thing. I think
Oh,
we're
most
gonna list
definitely.
out all the things that we've been reading and what we think, and then it's just gonna keep evolving as we wait for ACOTAR 6 to come out, I'm sure.
Well, even just doing the research here for this, because as of right now, we have split this into a little 8-part miniseries, and it amazes me how many theories are out there, and I'll be so interested once we actually get the next book to actually see if any of this was even right. This might not have anything to do with anything. Sarah might have went completely a different direction, but I'm interested. I mean, people's theories, but they make me think, you know? I mean, it's people have delved very deep into some of these theories. But let's start let's talk about each of the Archeron. I keep wanting to say Archeron sisters. Well, first we'll talk about Feyre. Since
Okay.
Feyre was the main character in
Yes.
the first 3 books, and she was the main character in book 4, but that's when the shift happened, and we started, seeing a little bit more with her sisters, and then of course book 5, we follow Nesta.
Mhm.
But Feyre, now this is the part that's always gets me. Feyre was the youngest out of the 3 girls. I don't understand. 'Cause she doesn't act like the youngest sister kind of deal. To me, she feels more like a middle child, more so than the youngest. She was the one, that was going out hunting to feed the family. She was the one trying to solve all the problems that the family was having. She was mortal, of course, as we all know, she was human, and then she became High Fae under the mountain, and then now she is a very powerful political figure in their world, in the Fae world.
Mhm.
Um, she tries to protect her family, still, her sisters, that kind of thing, even from where she's at now, but, she has, endured a lot. But that's Feyre. That's at least my gist with it.
Right.
Um,
And then we have Nesta, who is the eldest. She's razor edged, sharp tongue, high walls. And we've kind of discussed that she has this rediscovery of her self worth and her connection, all the trauma and isolation from childhood, and that people either love her or hate her. I
yeah.
started out hating her. And then once we got to her book, which is number 5, technically, right?
Yes.
Or we
Yeah.
say, yeah. So, that's when we start to see, her that rediscovery, and remaking of herself. But also, like I've started re-listening to ACOTAR,
Oh,
and
yes. Yes. Yes.
I am like really bothered again by how much Feyre is going out and doing, and she asks them, "Can you just cut wood?" And Nesta's like, "You're so much better at it." And my hands always, I always get a splinter, and I'm just like seething inside. It's so annoying.
Nesta is very polarizing, very polarizing. So you love her or you hate her. And I see that when we're looking at people and at different comments that people make. Um, People really hate her. There's a lot of people that really hate her. And then even in book, when you do read book 5, people still have that animosity towards her. Now, myself, I enjoyed her story. I understood. Like, she went through a whole lot of shit, you know what I mean? The reason Nesta is the way Nesta isn't necessary. Well, she does choose to be the way she is, but she's experienced so much horrendous stuff. So I understand kinda in a lot of ways why she is the way she is. And
Mhm.
she's kind of a bitch. I guess we could say that.
Yeah.
She
But
is. She's not pleasant.
yeah, and we're thinking, we've discussed it off camera, but all the influence from her mother and grandmother, and how we're really coming into the story at the beginning of ACOTAR where mom's already gone. So there's so
Yes.
much back history that we don't get to see, and I guess we're waiting to see if any of that comes out in the future books.
Well, even when you're reading book 5, she talks about like how she would go and, she would try to do things, and some of it was involving her body, and that kind of thing. Um, so I don't think we even really know what all she has done, to help the family. Because we're looking at it all purely through the eyes of Feyre. And Feyre, of course, was the youngest too, maybe she didn't realize 100% what her sister, did in that respect. Now, the other sister now, now then there's Elaine. Elaine is the middle sister. She's very soft spoken. She's romantic, she plants flowers. But I think the thing is we underestimate her. I think underneath that s- very still water, I think there's something underneath Elaine. But, when things had to be done, she was the strength. I mean, she did, kill the king guy. She does, like, when Feyre and Nesta are having problems, she tries to be the
The mediator.
mediator there,
Mhm.
and now since, she went in the cauldron and she came back out and she's a seer, I just think there's so much more there, what's going on. But I don't think she's all sunshine and roses as she presents herself.
Right.
Right.
And I
Especially
think
when
all the quietness that we've gotten from her, there's some wheels that are turning.
Oh, I think so. Oh, yeah. Now, even like before the cauldron, before all of that stuff, I still don't understand, as we said before, why on earth was she growing a garden that was only flowers and her family was starving? I'm still at that point. I don't understand that. What are you doing, Elaine?
Mhm. And during my re-listen, I actually heard that Feyre had bought her seeds for her garden, and so I'm even more annoyed because I'm like, "Really? Was there really nothing at market that was available? Come on."
I don't understand her. I mean, Elaine, I don't know. I don't know why I mean, I understand she likes planting pretty flowers and flowers are wonderful, but when your family is starving, they're going to die. Everybody is skinny like a bone stick because when they describe all of them, they're like wisps of nothing. You would think that would be very important to
Yeah.
go plant
And
some
it's over
vegetables.
an 8-year period because Feyre says in the beginning that this is the 8th winter that she is having to go out and hunt.
Well, how old was she there? She was what, 18 at that point.
18,
So
19,
so
yeah.
she was going out when she was 10 or 11, and they would have been what, Elaine's what, like 2 years older than her, and then
There's a 3-year difference.
oh, okay.
Nesta is 3 years older than Feyre, so Elaine's somewhere within that 1.5 years or whatever it is in between.
Oh, okay.
So it
So
was bam, bam, bam.
so Nesta would have been at least so she would have been like 10, 11 going out hunting. So she would have been what, would be what,
13,
13,
14.
14. So she
Mhm.
was older and so was Elaine. But I mean, you have to still look at it. They were children. They were children, but still.
With different temperaments because Feyre's mom only had Feyre promise stick together and take care of one another.
Yes, she did ask her that on her deathbed.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
guess that ingrained in Feyre's mind that she needed to take care of everyone.
Yeah, she
But
didn't have a choice. She had to step up.
but you would think but, you would think with Nesta's personality, you would think she would be like, "Well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that," but she doesn't.
Mm-mm.
But see, that's where the whole thing it I don't know, but, they have their poverty. Well, we should probably talk about beforehand.
Mhm.
At the time when you start A Court of Thorns and Roses, they are destitute. They are poor. They have nothing. There's just the 3 girls, and then they have their dad. But prior to this, they were extremely wealthy people. Their dad was known as the Prince of Merchants. He traveled all over their world, doing whatever it was that he did. The mother, they all lived kinda like the high society kind of people. And then they lost everything and they had to go in survival mode, and I don't know if they knew really how to do anything, you know?
Right.
Because I mean, think about it. If there's people today, we'll just talk about celebrity people in general, the ones that, like, their children that have been raised the entire time in that world, do you think they would know what to do if the world came to an end and they had or their existence like that came in and they had to actually fend for themselves? So, maybe we should look at them. Maybe we should give, um Elaine and Nesta a little bit more grace. I think Elaine was babied a lot. Um, so maybe that is what we're looking at more so than whatever. And then from when you read and stuff now, you see that Feyre was kind of just left on her own. She wasn't taught to read. It was not a big thing to even, like, have her be educated, that kinda stuff. Now,
Right.
Nesta and Elaine seem like they had education. They were taught that kinda stuff. So, why were they so focused on them, but yet Feyre, which is not I mean, they're all very close in age. Why was Feyre left to be I guess she was kinda feral in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah, well, and re-listening again, that's where I get, like, confused. What is Nesta's problem with Feyre? Because she is just straight up nasty to her.
Mm?
And really throughout the rest, when you get to, the last 2 books, how she's out and just drinking and spending all the money and thinks that, "Oh, well, Feyre owes this to me because this happened." Um, like, I can see why people hate her.
Nesta has an edge about her, but Nesta has I don't know. Nesta is she's just nasty person, but the stuff that she's gone through. I mean, as you read now, when you get to book 3, which is The Court of Wings and Ruins, is that one or is it in book 2? Which one is it when do they go into the cauldron? Is it in book 2 or 3?
I wanna say 3.
Oh, okay. So Tamlin, as we all know, he's the asshole. He captures them to try to get Feyre to come back to him. And so he takes her sisters and he sides with the king of Hybern and because he's hoping if he bends the will there, Pharaoh will be like, "Don't do this to my sisters." But he takes them and he throws them in the cauldron. And so, I mean, that was a extremely traumatic event that happened to those two girls. Because Feyre, when she became High Fae, she wasn't thrown in a cauldron.
Yeah.
She was made that way from all of the seven High Lords,
Yeah.
right?
And even
Seven
in
of
the
them.
beginning, like when Feyre kills the wolf that she's not sure whether
Hmm.
he's Fae or not. I mean, she had a very they all have a very adverse feelings and thoughts towards the Fae. So Feyre just took it with a little bit more grace
She did.
than Nesta and
She
Elaine did.
was a
Yeah.
little bit more accepting of them a little bit, but I don't know, maybe it's because she had the time at the spring court. You know, because once she killed the wolf, and I think back to that she skinned him, and we know that he was shapeshifted now. That's
Yeah.
such a horrible thing. Um, and then she sold the pelt and that, and of course Tamlin comes and loses his mind in beast form and breaks their door and freaks them all out because they didn't know this was coming. And she was just trying to feed her. Did they eat him? Because she skinned it. Did she only?
She left it. I remember her leaving. She left the meat there. She only took the pelt because she couldn't carry both the wolf and the deer.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they
Well,
only
at
ate the
least she
deer and
didn't
she
eat him.
left the meat out there.
At
Yeah.
least she didn't eat him. Um.
And since
But
we're talking about the beginning, when we start getting to all the rest of our
mhm,
talking points today,
yeah.
people think that the mercenary in the beginning that Feyre goes and sells the pelt to might be a witch from like the Throne of Glass
Oh,
realm.
interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about her a whole lot because she's
Mhm.
only in that just that little bit of the beginning part, and she's very like she's a manly woman,
Yeah, and she
and
overpays for the pelt because she says, "Hey, somebody once helped me out and now I'm paying it forward," basically was her wording. And so there are some theories about her.
oh, interesting. I hadn't thought about her for a while, that lady at the beginning. That is interesting. I wonder if we will see her again in any of the future books. Because she was just there at the beginning, and she did play a very pivotal point. But now let me ask you this. Now, she bought the pelt. How did Tamlin find out that this had happened? Is it just because the guy didn't return and then he went searched and found his skinned body?
Yes, that's how it
Mercenary woman.
no.
Okay, so
Mm-mm. Because he was sending his sentries out for this to happen because that was a
that
um
was part of the prophecy from.
right, the prophecy. There we go. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So,
yeah, a human girl had to kill
yeah.
one of the Fae.
And I
It's
didn't
so
realize
interesting.
how nasty, Lucian was to Feyre in the beginning. I didn't
Oh,
remember
he
that
was.
until I've been re-listening. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was very snarky, very, very snarky because, well, you have to look at it the other way. He was raised on the Fae side, and they were basically taught to hate the humans or to see them as that they were nothing,
Mhm.
basically, you know?
Or that all they wanted was something from the Fae.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how he was raised. And you gotta remember, he wasn't raised in the Spring Court. He was raised in the Autumn Court, which, as we've discovered, the Autumn Court is a very not nice place.
That's gonna
At
be a
least
whole other thing.
that's a whole 'nother thing. We will be getting there. Don't worry. Um, but, Feyre, like I said, she was trying to be the protector, the provider, that kind of thing. Nesta's hanging on to resentment, but she still wants to cling to her old status because, she was, the lady in waiting kind of thing. She was being groomed. She was being because her mother and her grandmother were getting her ready because they wanted to basically marry her off to the best guy, be a
Right.
prince or whatever you want to call him, or the most wealthy man. They were all about status. That was their big thing, and that's why, so Nesta still wants to be. She wants to still be that.
Mhm.
And then, of course, Elaine, she just tries to avoid everything and plant her flowers.
With her pretty face.
Because she's always very sweet. I am Elaine. But see, this is the part where I'm still getting. I do think something is underneath the surface with Elaine. I look back, as I was doing getting ready for all our different mini series, I was looking at a lot of different parts with her. You know, Elaine, she did her flower thing. Then when Feyre went to the spring court with Tamlin, of course, Tamlin did a glamour on all of them.
Mhm.
And so that they wouldn't realize what happened to Feyre, was it that she went to help a sick aunt? That's what he
Right.
made them believe, correct?
Right. Mhm.
But Nesta never believed any of it because the glamour. didn't work on her. See, there's more with or there's something more with Nesta, because why wouldn't that work on her? It worked on Elaine. It worked on the dad. Well, at least to our knowledge, it worked on the dad.
Mhm.
Definitely on Elaine. And then all during this time, then Elaine remember, she finds that guy and she gets engaged to him. And they
Mhm.
hate the Fae tremendously. And remember, he gave her the ring, and it was an iron band ring. And then when she went into the cauldron, then she couldn't wear that anymore.
Yeah.
I want to know, what does the iron do to the Fae? Does it burn their skin?
See, I don't even know.
Because see, there's theories with iron. I did see that.
Yeah, and I don't remember that it actually protected them in any way. It was more just the ash arrow could kill them. I don't know that the iron actually was anything substantial.
I don't. She doesn't really go into it a whole lot. Now, see, there's
Yeah.
theories that they're saying it's coming from Throne of Glass, something with iron.
Yeah, there's a neck thing. See, I don't know how much I even wanna spoil for you, but yeah, there are these,
It's gonna be a while before I get to that series.
there are these iron collars that they put
Are they putting
on.
them on Fae people, or what kind of people, or is it the witches that they're putting them on?
No, that it's so this is a whole other thing. So, they're called the Valg,
Okay,
VALG, in Throne of Glass, and those are like they're these basically, they take over a host's body, and
okay.
they're these Valg princes. They're just these dark, I don't even really know how to describe them,
Are they kind of like almost like a shadowy thing that like possesses somebody?
well, because they take on the face of the host that they're in. So, there's a prince that they take over in Throne of Glass, Dorian.
Okay.
And he he's amazing. But
Oh,
so one of the Vogue princes takes over his body, and he has this iron, I believe it's iron. He has this iron collar on, and it's basically keeps that Vogue inside of him so that he can't get rid of it. Like, he can't expel it on its own. So they have to cut that off of him in order to save him.
oh, okay. So he has this color. So
So
that
that's where
keeps
the
him in,
iron part, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure what.
because there's something. There has to be something there. Because
Yeah,
see, now there's a theory that all 3 of Sarah's worlds that she's created, they're all different timelines, that they're not all happening at the same time.
they are
They're all
though.
different, but they said they travel to each other. But they said they think like one is like the future, one is the past, and one is the present that's happening. And it's all the same place. That was one of the
See?
theories I seen.
So timeline, and me having read them, like, timeline doesn't work for me because, like, when Bryce from Crescent City gets linked up with Nesta and Cassian and Azriel, that's all like that's when Rhys and Feyre are having the baby, or either he's already born, but like that.
It's in that time frame.
So it kind of is in that same time frame. And then Throne of Glass at the very end, Aelin falls through the different realms. She goes through this portal and she falls through, and she can see Rhys and Feyre during Starfall standing up on the mountain, and Feyre's pregnant. So I feel like they are all happening at the same time, that they just have
They're
different
just different realms, different
layers. Yeah,
different layers.
exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I think we're going to see in this next book. That's why I'm going to try between now and when it all comes to read both series, the other series, so that I can have all the thoughts happening. But I think they're all very, very interconnected, more so than I realized,
Yeah.
and especially now since I've looked at like what people's
Hmm.
theories and stuff, I really do think it's very. I think she does have them, that they're all going to be somehow interconnected.
Hmm.
Um, as I do have thoughts with Bryce too, even though I don't know who she is really, because I haven't read the series, but I have thoughts on her with something that she did because of somebody's theory when we get to her. That's in a different episode though. But now let's see here. Let's talk about the bloodlines and stuff. Let's talk Feyre. Now Feyre, now she went under the mountain to save the stupid Tamlin. He's stupid. If you love him, you haven't read the series then. He's stupid. He makes me so mad. I get so mad
Hmm.
at him because he is
Yeah.
such a dick in so many ways. 'Cause, like, when she first goes to spring court with him, when he takes her and says she has to go there, it's because of this treaty, and she has to stay with him for the rest of her life. She can never go back to the human lands. She's very, resentful towards him. She, has the hate towards him because, again, like Chelsea said, they were raised to fear the Fae, to not like them. They're horrible people kinda deal. Um, but Tamlin kinda lives up to kinda his assholeness because he takes her there, and then he tells her when she gets a bath, he goes, whatever, what was it? He tells her, "You look better,
You
you're actually
clean.
clean." He's such a dick.
Yeah.
And even, like, stuff like, she really she is such a naive person, and she never really, I mean, she did have that one guy that she liked back in her human world.
Isaac
But
Hale.
and she liked him, and, he was okay, whatever. But, Tamlin, she really fell for him. She really did fall in love with him or the idea of him, and he was really a dick through the whole process of it.
Well, even when he first brings her and he says, basically, like, "You can live anywhere on my land. You don't have to live with me. You can go wherever you want." What was she supposed to do? Like,
I don't know, cause and then she's in the world of the Fae, and a lot of the Fae, they didn't like her. I mean, if she would've just set out on her own, who knows what would've happened to her? Because 'cause I'm sure they would've probably liked
and
to have killed her.
him telling her, "Go ahead, go off and live wherever." He knew that she couldn't do that because of the prophecy he was waiting for her to fulfill. So he couldn't tell her about the prophecy, but he knew she had to fulfill that somehow and that she had to fall for him.
Yeah, I always think about how, like, he had the whole entire place there because she thought it was just her and Tamlin and Lucian. That's all she thought was there. Oh, and then the Elise, is it Elise? Was that her name? The lady that's
Yeah.
like bark? I think
Yeah.
that's her name. Um,
Elise or
the
yeah.
or Alice? Maybe it's Alice.
Alice, Elise, I don't yeah, I'm not sure.
It's one or the other. You'll know who
Yes.
we're talking about. But she's, like, got skin that's like bark and that kinda thing. Now, she's not originally from the Spring Court. I believe they said she's from Summer Court
Summer.
or Autumn Court. She's
I
from
wanna
one or the,
say one of those and then but then she had family in another court,
and then she had her 2
thought.
nephews, remember? Because
Yeah,
they left wherever they were and they came to Spring Court. So, she's taking care of Feyre. She's trying to dress her, making her hair fancy. I have to tell you, if there was someone that could tell me what to wear and to fix my hair every day, I would be fine with it. Feyre fought it every step of the way. I'd be like, "Oh, you wanna make my hair into some beautiful hairstyle?" I would be a wonderful prisoner if it came to this kinda thing. I'd be so accepting of all of it. But again, Feyre, was not. Um, but what was I saying about Elise? But she was there. So Feyre only thinks there's these people, and then, like the cooks and a few people.
mhm,
She has no idea that Tamlin has glamored, like, everywhere, and there were all kinds of people everywhere. So I just wonder, what did Feyre do as she thought she was walking by herself and she wasn't really alone?
right,
Because
yeah,
you do things when you're alone and you don't think anybody's watching or hears
yeah.
you.
Well, and there were those creatures, though, out in the foresty area that were lurking, though. Those were scary.
Oh, the
Um,
bog? Was it the bog or something
there's
they were
that, and then there
called?
were those other things too when she was, trying to catch the cereal, remember? And the cereal was like, "Let me go
Oh,
because they're coming."
oh,
Those
I
creepy
have this
things.
just to
I
show
forget
you.
what they're called.
Look who I have with me.
I
If
love
you see us
him
if you see us on YouTube, I have my surreal, and he's got his
with
teacup.
with his
I
teacups.
love I just love him. He sits on my shelf with all my ACOTAR books and stuff. He's on that shelf with them, but I had to bring him over so that he could be part of this experience. I don't know. So, like, he, like, made her believe that there was, like, nobody there. So again, another dick move. See, that's Tamlin.
Yeah,
He's a dick.
yeah,
He is. So he did that, and then all this stuff's going on, then he's trying to be nice to her, trying to win her affection, in essence, is what he's trying to do, but I don't think he knows how to do it because I don't think he's really happy that she's human, you know what I
I
mean?
could
I
see
don't
that.
think he
Yeah,
really wanted to do this,
right.
but since we know so much about bonds and stuff like that, um, throughout the books, there's that bond that, that she has with Rhysand and that kinda stuff, it's that. So, Tamlin obviously did not have that with her. So who did Tam? But see, that's next episode. We'll be talking about bonds with Tamlin.
Now, when it comes to her high fae transformation under the mountain, is she the first time that the High Lords have all done their little seed thing to bring her back to life, or has that happened before?
I think this is the first time they've done this with a human. I don't think they did it. If they did do it, it wasn't with any. Because see, I see different things like people will post like that they all shapeshift. I don't think they all shapeshift. I think they each have their own powers. That's why Feyre got specific powers from each of them. I think Tamlin's the only one that can
Well, no, because
shapeshift.
Rhys turns into that thing that he hates,
It's
that
like that
monster
bat
form.
thing or something. Isn't it a
Yeah,
bat
so he
thing?
does.
But I think that's because of his shadows. I think it's something to do with that. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know. Yeah. And I'm trying to remember in the
Because
battle
there's
because
all
I know
kinds of theories.
Rhys transforms in that battle when they're in the when he's out on the ship. Is that when they're out at like the summer court, I feel like.
That was Summer Court, I believe, yes.
Um yeah, because I've seen well, and I have seen some of the artists that will like they do a beast form for every High Lord, like you said. I don't know. I don't know if that's backed up by the book or if that's just something we've
I
imagined.
see, I don't remember reading that.
Yeah.
I know Tamlin can, because I know
Okay.
he goes into his beast form and he's
Yeah.
lost his mind at this point and he's in permanent state as in beast form.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna have to get
think
receipts.
I don't think Helion, I don't they do other kinds of magic. Their magic
Mhm.
is different. Like
Yeah.
Tamlin's is like whatever he does with that beast form and he becomes unstoppable because
Right.
he can kill stuff like the
That's
bog,
his thing.
which
He
is
gets, like,
isn't
that
it a
super
bog?
strength, and the Bog is
Yeah,
right. That's the one that
that's a
pretended to
thing
be
that was
Feyre's
stalking
dad.
her.
Yeah, and pretended to be Feyre's dad so that she would come out, um,
Yes,
so
out
that was
into
the
the
Bog,
gardens.
but then there was some other I forget what their
There
name was. I
it's,
think you said it.
they're like lizard things,
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah.
if you play video games, they have them in there, but I can't think of what they're called right now.
Yeah.
But they're like serpent things, and I can't
Mhm.
think of what they're called right now, um, but he kills all of them when they come after her, when they realize
Yeah,
she's there, a human is
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So I think that's his thing. Then, Rhysand, I think his is shadows, and we have other theories that we'll get into him when we talk to him, but I think each of them, like the Tarquin from the Summer Court, his is water. He can do all kinds of amazing things with water. Helion, his is more like his is magic kinda stuff that he does. Because he could do remember when they warded the trove
Yeah,
and stuff, he
yeah.
does that kinda stuff. The guy that's, the one that's in the winter court, it begins with a K.
Callias,
Kellius?
whatever it is,
I
yeah.
haven't heard much of what he does. I really don't know what he does. I don't remember.
S Cold stuff, ice.
I'm assuming. Maybe he's like Elsa,
Yeah.
and he does
Oh, wait,
the ice
but
thing.
I've seen when they make his beast form, how they make him like a polar bear type thing, but again, receipts, I don't know if that actually happens.
I don't know. See, this is what I don't remember, since I've read it. I don't remember them saying like they all form into beast. I I know Tamlin does 100%. And I know Rhysand changes, and I know Feyre does because she saw herself in the Ouroboros thing. Is it Ouroboros? It's that mirror.
Mhm.
That's what I'm going to call it. Is that what
Yeah.
it was called? The
Yes.
Ouroboros?
Ouroboros, yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
So So she sees herself, but that's her part from Tamlin, because she could manipulate water, like I said, like Tarquin. She can do
Yeah.
everything that each of them do. She can do fire because of, the Autumn Court from Baron. Um, she has all of that kind of stuff, and of course, then she has the reason why she can get wings and she can make them come and go, that comes from Rhysand, you know,
Mhm.
because she has that piece of each of them. That's why she's everything.
Yeah. Well, and her transformation speaks to her, demeanor prior to becoming High Fae. So the
Yeah.
leadership, she has all those blended powers, so it makes sense. for her.
she's kind of the well, she's the leader with it, but by having all those different powers, she's kind of like, I don't know. She's different than her sisters because she was high. They're all high fae. This is the part that gets me. They Now I can understand Feyre being high fae because she was made by the high lords. It makes sense, at least in my mind, that she became that. But now Nesta and Elaine becoming high fae, not just fae, they became high fae. This is where the theories come in involving their mother. This is where, because see, when you read the series, and as most, probably a lot of you have read the series, we don't get a tremendous amount of information about her mother or the grandmother, but we do hear little bits and pieces of the mother. And then Nesta talks about in the fifth book, she talks about their grandmother. This is where, is it possible the reason why those two girls, became high fae, is it that they have distinct powers from the cauldron? Is it because it's linked to whoever their mother and their grandmother was? So the cauldron seems to be sentient. It seems to be all knowing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's just like the cauldron's just a pot that sits there and they went in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't think it's controlled.
Yeah, and I can like I feel like I have a theory about the cauldron that had another human been forced in there that didn't want to go in there, that may have also been turned high fae, but the queens wanted to go in there and wanted to take power from it. So I think that the cauldron knew that and was like, and they were like, "Nope, that's not going to happen." But because Nesta and Elaine were forced in there, I think it was a different scenario.
So it knew that they didn't want to go in. And it knew it, so it went and it looked at them and it did. But Nesta did take from the cauldron, though. She
Yeah,
did take extra, and I want to know, how did she do that?
with that strong will of hers.
Oh yeah, well they said she had, was it iron teeth or something like that? See, there's another iron reference.
I did find
There's so much.
I did find some of those. So, should we jump into that?
I think so. I think we should start
Some of these
talking about
theories.
who, and well, let's since we're speaking of bloodlines, what
Mhm.
really happened to Feyre's mother? What do you think? What is your thought on it? I have my thoughts on her. And then we have a lot of the thing. We know their mother was strong-willed. We know she was
Mhm.
ambitious. She expected greatness, especially from Nesta. Some from Elaine,
Right.
but mainly Nesta. But her sudden illness and her death, they treated it, and it was very suspiciously mundane. Because now, as
Yes.
it's very weird. The mother, even though she's never named, we just know that her as Mama Archeron, right? I think that's
Mhm.
all they ever refer to her as.
Right.
Um, what's your thought?
So, since we've done this little deep dive and I've gone through and looked through people's theories on it, I can see some merit to the witch stuff cuz and when we go through some of these quotes, I think people would agree. However, there's that really big part of me that's like we're reading too far into this and she legitimately just got sick and died.
Possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. I mean, I
So,
don't know. I don't know. The part of me that makes me think that she is something more is because when she got sick and she died, I mean, he was the prince of merchants. You know, he could do whatever because we know she died in the bed. That's why they kept the bed that the girls slept in, which is, I don't know. I know they were
well, and it
born
was
in
a
the bed,
gift. It was a gift from so the bed was a gift from dad to mom on their wedding. That was a wedding gift.
and it was made of that
Ironwood.
yeah.
Mhm.
So and then the girls slept in it. They were born in the bed and the mother died in the bed, and then they continued to sleep in the bed. I don't know if I could do that. Do you think you
Yeah.
could sleep in the bed if your mom died in the bed? Do you think you could continue to sleep in that bed after
Guess
she's
if I
been sick?
had to. If I
I
had to, I
guess.
guess I could see it happening. If they're that
I
poor.
guess.
And I think that her death probably has a lot to do with their fall into poverty. I think that dad started slipping once mom died because she probably I don't know, held him up and kind of he probably fell into some type of depression or I don't know, maybe wasn't as careful about his investments.
Maybe so. I think I think the dad Papa Archeron there. I think he knew a lot more than he ever said. And of
Mhm.
course he died and we'll never get any more out of him unless miraculously he wrote something down somewhere. But I think he knew a lot more than he let on. I
Mhm.
think I think he knew a lot more about the Fae, and I have my theories. Now,
Yeah.
one of the
Well, and he
things.
had to have for his big grand, gesture at the end. He had to have
Oh
known more
yeah.
than he was letting onto.
Oh, yeah, because he went. Now, we do know when he was the Prince of Merchants, we do know he would go over to where the King of Hybern was, over on that, the continent, they called it. So we do know he went over there. But for what he did when he went over and he had to. Now, see, this is the part that gets me, though. Now, he went over there and he made a deal. How did he make a deal with Koshi, or Koche, is my question, the Death Lord of the lake? Because he got the Firebird Queen, because he released her from the lake that she could come with Papa Archeron with his 3 ships that he named after all 3 of his daughters, and he rode on the Nesta because that was his daughter that he loved the most there, even though Nesta did not love him. But I think there's probably a whole lot more there that we don't know.
Yeah.
So I wonder who was Papa Archeron that he was able to make a deal with a Death Lord
See, now I wanna read that part over because was it just that she had to stay on water, and that's how she helped them, or did he get her released for that?
from, if my memory serves me correct, he got her release that she could be gone for a certain period of time, which is still kind of odd because she is supposed to go back to the lake with the Death Lord, with Koshi, the one that we don't know a whole lot. I call him Koshi because it reminds me of Yoshi, from I don't, it might be Koche. I don't know. Koshi. I don't know, but I know she has to go back to him. But from when we we read A Court of Wings and Ruin and Court of Silver Flames, I think the time there is only maybe what, a year? I don't even know if it's a whole year because they have the Christmas, they have their battles, then they have their little Christmas thing going on with the novella, and then we have all that time that they train with Nesta and stuff. So I wonder how much time Koshi gave her that she could be away from him, because you would think a year's a long time that he would let her. But what? See, that's where my questions come in. What did the
Yeah.
dad do to get it's not her freedom because she has to go back. She's not free. But how did he convince him to allow her to come and do this?
And how did he know what to go how did he even know where to start?
And then
We're
Lucian was with
talking
him.
about a man who has been, like, so destitute and hasn't been doing anything or helping anybody, and then he goes and handles business and comes back with this big, huge, grand gesture. It's like, I'm confused about
And he
him.
has Lucian with him too. Because remember, Lucian went to find the Firebird Queen. Remember, he went off because Elaine wasn't wanting to to materialize their bond. If anyone
Mhm.
sees me, if you're watching us on YouTube, I'm doing bond in air quotes because I'm not sold 100% on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. What, like you said, the dad, I think we're gonna find out more about him, or that's what I'm saying. I don't think he was just an innocent bystander and he was very unaware of things. I think he knew a whole lot more. Now, one of the theories about their mother is that she was possibly a hidden witch. That is because they believe that it's possible. Like, these are fan theories. They believe that there's ties to a secret coven or a mortal magic of some kind, possible bloodline magic. Now, this is the part where the Iron Teeth Witch from the Throne of Glass series, or is it very possible that Feyre's mother was just Fae herself and she wasn't all human? I mean, there's that. I don't know because they said now Tamlin says because he was talking to Feyre and he interrupts her and he says it in his deep voice, surprisingly gentle. He says, "Didn't your mother tell you anything about us?" But
Mhm.
that,
So can we do we read into that and do we go, "Hmm, there's some connection there where he knows now?" Because it doesn't seem like he knew anything about her mom before meeting Feyre, but has he discovered something about their family lineage to make him say this?
in my mind, I don't think he realized who Feyre was. This is my thought, and I think he absolutely knew 100% who Feyre's mother was. I think he knew who she was. That's where I lean in towards my theory in it is I don't know necessarily. Well, I don't know. She could have been a witch or whatever, but I do think I think she has Fey in her. I think, or Tamlin, he knew her because remember, Tamlin's 500 years old. We think of her mom as being just a mortal human. If she's Fey, she could have been a lot older. I do think Papa Archeron. I do think he was human. I don't think he was anything that, but I don't think the mom was.
Yeah. So either Tamlin's saying that because he knows more about Mama Archeron than he leads on, or he says it because he expects that all human parents are warning their children about the Fae.
There is the part, remember, Feyre talks about her mother saying that she had a cousin that got too close to the wall and the Fae killed him or something. But I don't know if they killed him because then when you get into Ananthe, was it Ianthe? It's
Ianthe,
the
Ianthe,
Ianthe
dumb
because
bitch.
yeah, oh, I don't like her at all. Um, but remember because she was in that thing and they would take the people and they would lure them,
Yeah.
Were they were they killing they were killing the humans, weren't they, when they lured them
Well,
and
and there's those, what do they
sacrificed
call
them?
them in the beginning? The children of the moon or children of the something that are walking around in the human lands
But I think weren't they Fae
with their
people,
little,
though? And they would get them because it was right at the wall, because remember there were
yeah,
breaks in the wall, and that's where they would
yeah,
lure them. So but how
yeah.
did Feyre's mom know about the break in the wall, and how did she know? See, this is
Well,
where
and Feyre
I
makes
question.
comments in the beginning too about like, why are we living so close to the wall? Why did we decide to settle here and stay here? And so that's a question too about why they decided to raise their little family right at the wall.
I mean, if you knew it was that dangerous, because her mom obviously was trying to protect them. I'm going to air quote it again, protect them from the Fae. Why would they choose to stay right there? Where
And your husband's
obviously
the
they could
prince
have
of
gone anywhere
merchants.
and they could have lived
Exactly.
anywhere they wanted.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
again, is it because that was her family too? That was across the border, I don't know. See? Theories. I don't know. And then let's see here. I'm trying to think. Then Nesta had become a wolf herself, armed herself with invisible teeth and claws, and learned to strike faster, deeper, and more lethally. See, it's so
And that one is that so that quote is what a lot of people are using as their fan theories for the witch bloodlines. With the invisible teeth and claws, because in Throne of Glass, the witches, they have their normal teeth and then they have their iron teeth that can come out.
oh, see,
All
that's
their
interesting.
scary, yeah, and their claws come out, and that's how they can attack because they're all, I mean, most of them are described as being very beautiful. Like Manon, she's in the Iron Teeth clan. She,
I've seen pictures of her. I've
yeah,
seen
so she's
fan art.
beautiful. And then if you can imagine her with her iron teeth and her claws coming out, scary.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nesta does have the scary element about her.
Mm-hmm.
No, and then the other one that got me is also, Cassian says, like, when he's training Nesta and some of the Illyrian guys, and they're like, "Is
Mm-hmm.
she a witch?" And when he opened his mouth, but Nesta said flatly, she said, "Yes." And but she would do that though, because she's kind of an asshole, so she would say it.
Right.
And he said he watched all 9 full-grown, weathered Illyrian, warlords flinch. He said, and then of course Cassian said, "Well, she may act like one sometimes, but no, she's high fae." Cassian, you don't know.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know, but he just likes her too
Yeah.
much there. I think he likes
Mhm.
that nip that she has.
Yeah.
I don't know. So there's that theory. So that's
And
one of the
then
theories. But
there's the, when Lanthes or Lanthus calls her the Witch of Urid in the prison scene and of court of, Frost and Starlight or whatever it is, Starlight and Frost, whatever our little novella is.
oh yeah, our Court of Frost and Starlight.
Yeah.
Again, I love that one. I
So,
love their little Christmas story.
why
I don't
would
know.
somebody call her the Witch of Urid who's never met her before, but maybe has some kind of insight into something?
Well, you have to remember that in the prison, there are people or creatures, whatever how you want to put it, they're thousands of years old and they know things. They know things. So I don't know. I
And let's
mean,
also mention more our truth. teller, right? That's her
Oh, yes.
thing. And she says witches amass power beyond their natural reserve. They use spells and archaic tools to harness more power to them than the cauldron allotted and use it for whatever they desire, good or ill, which makes sense that Nesta was able to take from the cauldron instead of what the cauldron just handed to her. She's a
Now,
witch.
this is Now, this is another just slight little theory too, though, with Nesta alone. Do we think that Nesta was Papa Archeron's child? Is it possible that maybe she was not? Because Elaine couldn't do it. She didn't pull the extra power, but maybe her father is somebody different. See, I have theories.
Interesting.
Because I
That's an
believe later
interesting
on in
theory.
some of our later episodes, we get a little bit more involved in that one. That I don't
Mhm.
know because
Okay.
she has eyes like the mom. Feyre has eyes like the mom. Elaine's eyes are brown like Papa,
Hmm.
and that Sarah was very. She said that for a reason when she described their eye color and stuff. And then it makes me wonder. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something with it now. There's another theory out there that possibly that the mom there's bargains and curses, like magical bargains with the Fae, ancient beings, possibly to secure power and wealth, because we know that the grandmother and their mother, that was their main things was wealth and power, because that's what they wanted Nesta to do. They wanted her to marry somebody and have that power. So, you know, by breaking a bargain, is that what caused her to be sick and her death? Is it breaking the bond? Is that what caused her death and the curse to send them into poverty? Because we really don't know what happened that made all of a sudden that he was the prince of merchants and then they were nothing.
Right.
And
All it really
then,
talks about is that the guy comes in and is
yeah.
pissed about losing his investment and, lames Papa Archeron. That's all we really know about that.
So, I mean, but what was the reason? It's kind of weird. Because, I mean, he was doing extremely well. And then, I mean, to go from way up here to like the bottom of the barrel, there has to be something more to it. Now, then there's another theory, and I just found this one last night when I was looking. Now, what if Mama Archeron or the grandmother, because it would be coming from her, what if they are a descendant of the ancient Fey warrior that the bone carver speaks of? Many fans believe that this is a subtle hint about the Archeron's mother's lineage. I had forgotten that he said that. Because the bone carver, he's a very interesting person. Um, because now he says, now if you go into the Court of Wings and Ruin, it's in that book. He mentions to a clever Fey warrior is who trapped him, because he was in the prison for like 1,000 years, something like that, and his siblings. And he said her bloodline is long gone. So that person, the Fey person, of course, is gone. But there's traces of it that still run through some human lives.
Okay. Now that we're saying this, it also makes me think of Throne of Glass because there's a lot of weird bloodline stuff in that series. So, like Aelin, she has like this whole fire thing. And then there are different Fey warriors in the past of like their lineage that had these powers. Um, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot to go into. But even like Dorian, so he's the prince, he's a human prince, but he ends up having some Fey powers from his previous lineage because in Throne of Glass, they've like gotten rid of the Fey. If you're Fey,
They don't want
like
you there.
they've
They've
done away with you
eliminated them.
basically. Right. They've
Well,
eliminated them in most areas. So that's where it's interesting that could be some kind of tie to Throne of Glass, this whole ancient Fey warrior stuff.
mm, interesting. Like I said, the bone carver is very interesting. We will be talking about him in a later episode because there's some theories of who he might actually truly be as well. Now, the
Okay.
next thing is now, is it possible that it was dark magic overreach with their mom? Because if she was a witch, she used forbidden magic gone wrong. She poisoned herself or, influenced the cauldron's reactions in her daughters. Is it
Okay.
possible that they said that if you overuse your magic, you get to a point as a witch that there's no going back. So that would explain why they couldn't do anything for her. They couldn't heal her. They couldn't do it. And she just basically just died.
There's also a thing in Throne of Glass with the witches, that they can basically, like, self-sacrifice, and it creates this whole they almost, like they basically go off like a grenade.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
So they
So they
implode.
do that in a battle, that's a whole other tie, yeah, to think about.
Interesting. And
Mhm.
then you have a note here that with Crescent City with that.
Yeah, so in
What is
Throne
that?
of Glass, the Iron Teeth witches only have female offspring. That's what, some fan theories had said. I might have to check the receipts, or if anybody that's listening can confirm,
Yeah.
please do. And then from Crescent City about the female lineage, once again, it says most witch powers are passed down through the female line, although witches can appear in non-magical families. They have a variety of gifts, which gifts are varied and can include seers, Elaine, warriors or potion makers. Healers or med witches are particularly common in the city of Lunathian, which is in Crescent City.
Hmm. See, that's interesting. That,
Mhm.
see, that's why I think we're going to see there's something with the mother. Now, there's also this is something that because they're saying the mother, but they're also saying this would also truly be the grandmother because
Mhm.
female line. They said that the grandmother was possibly an iron tooth matron from the Throne of Glass because they said because I guess they're very stern, not very nice people.
Yes.
That's what I've
Yeah, they're
read.
scary. They're very
And then it
scary.
says another theory is that she is a seer, the grandmother was, or a powerful witch, and she could have foreseen her granddaughter's futures, and she deliberately guided events to set them on their paths to power.
Oh, I got chills.
Oh, what if she did do that? I mean, think about it.
Well, and where did the, um, prophecy about Feyre come from? That she
Oh,
was
that
gonna
is true.
save Tamlin? Where did that come from?
Oh, yeah, it had to come
I
from
don't remember
somebody
them saying, yeah, I don't remember them saying.
because now you go into the under the mountain with Amarantha.
Amarantha. Mhm. Another
Now,
dumb bitch.
oh, yeah, we don't like her. Oh, she's now see, I have theories with her, but we will be getting into her in a different episode. But now she knows of the prophecy. Now she was involved. Well, she was the what? The general with the King of Hybern. She was one of his generals. So the King of Hybern he's Fey. He's not human. He's Fey. She's Fey.
Right.
So she was one of his best generals. We know he has a sister, but there's no more mention of her because she had the twins that come in. They're some weird asses.
They're those, like, the guys that turns into birds, right? The raven
Yeah,
things?
yeah,
The white and the black?
it was a brother and sister. And
Is
remember,
that what it
they were
was?
upset because they only wanted one room.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, they were
Okay.
weird. Yeah, they
Okay, I
had
think I
some
was getting that
weirdness.
confused.
And
Mhm.
remember, they were that Dimitri or whatever it was called, where they could read each other's minds.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm. And
Okay.
they were a little too close.
Mhm.
They were a little too close. But see, now
Yeah.
they were the niece and nephew of
That's right.
Hybern.
They came with Jurian to
Yeah.
the Spring Court. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Now, see, Jury and I have a lot of questions involving him as well. Now, when at the end of Under the Mountain, when Tamlin he goes and he kills Amarantha, rips her face apart, whatever he does. Um, Jorian was the ring that was on her finger because she only had his eyeball.
Mhm.
That's so weird.
I know.
It's so weird. And he could see everything that was happening. Because she did that to him because what was it? Because he was in a relationship with her sister, wasn't it? And then he betrayed the
Yeah.
sister. He killed the
Yeah.
sister, and then she was really pissed about it. But so he killed the sister. He did a fake relationship with her to get close in there. Because remember, he loved that other woman,
Yeah.
the one that disappeared with the other guy. Yes, but he loved her. But obviously, she didn't love him because she went with someone else.
Yeah.
She went with the other guy because there was a whole lot of relationship betrayals happening there.
Yeah.
But so he was a ring. So how did he go from being the eyeball in the ring
To
to
getting
being
to the King of
reconjured
Hybern.
and the only thing I can think is Tamlin must have taken that ring. And then when he went to, but there was never any, I don't think there was any
There
mention of
was
how
no
it happened.
talk about that, no.
So that's my theory. I think he took the
Huh.
ring 'Cause since he's the one that killed her, he probably was like, "Nyeh," because he's an
Yeah, he
asshole.
probably used it as a bargaining chip with the King of Hybern when he made that deal with him to get the sisters.
Mhm. So he
Yeah.
brought Jurian back. So he's a conjured person, or he's kinda like he's a made person as well. So did he go into the cauldron? Did he come out of the cauldron too? Did Hybern put him in the hot cauldron
But
and create him? Because he was
he's
just an
not
eyeball.
Fey.
No. Mm-mm.
Isn't he just human?
He's just human. I
So it's
believe
almost
so.
like yeah.
I have a question there on that one,
Huh.
because I know the
Yeah.
King of Hybern did some. Oh, maybe it's because he has that book. He's the sorcerer kinda guy, so that's
Right.
what maybe he was able to rematerialize him or something.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe that's what it is. He didn't go in the
Yeah.
cauldron. He was able to do whatever with that book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now when we're talking about the book, he has a book. Then what is the one that Amryn and Feyre went and got? They had to get the 2 halves, one from the
They brought him
queens,
together.
and is that the book
Mhm.
he had then? Or did he have a different book?
Well,
See, I don't
he didn't
remember now.
get that until Feyre brought it to him. He just had the cauldron, I believe. I think he only had the cauldron.
Oh,
And then Feyre brought the book and he took
and then
that
he had it.
because he
Okay.
set the trap for them. Yeah.
Oh, he's still King of Hybern is such a dick too. No wonder him and Tamlin, got together there and schemed a plan together. Because that was a dick thing to do. Because when they went and got
Yeah.
Nesta and they got Elaine, they took them right out of their bed. They were in their nightgowns and then threw them in.
Yeah.
But then you have the queens. Now that's a whole nother episode. We'll be talking about them. But when, they seen Nesta and they seen Elaine go into the cauldron, and then they came out, high fae and they were beautiful. The queen there, she really did think that's what was going to happen for her, and it
Mhm.
did not.
Wrong.
Did not. She was a dick. She was a dick too. Have we noticed though? Every villain, truly in the ACOTAR series, are real giant dicks.
Yeah.
Who do you think's the biggest dick out of all of them? 'Cause we
Ooh.
will talk villains one day. We are gonna talk the villains, but who do you think, as of right now, who would you say is the biggest dick in all the series?
Honestly, for me, it's the queens.
You think this is the queen? I think it's Tamlin. He's
Oh,
still the biggest dick for me.
see, I feel like Tamlin, in some ways, his heart was in the right place. Like, he did some dumb stuff,
He did a lot of dumb stuff. He did a lot.
but he also did a lot of sweet things. Like, once he took Feyre, he took care of the sisters and dad and set them back up into a nice home and took care of them that way.
I think he did that for his own personal gain. He did that because he didn't want them to come searching for her. Because remember she hired that mercenary to go with her because she was gonna cross the wall to get him, and I think he did that in a way
To
to
keep that from
basically.
happening.
Mm, I think he did that to make them kinda go away, because he felt if they had enough money and they had whatever, because of what kind of people they are. Because Elaine obviously liked going to balls and
Yeah.
and doing that kinda thing, and the dad didn't seem. Oh, well, I mean, of course, he was able to be glamored. He didn't seem to care that Feyre wasn't there, and Nesta, the only reason I think Nesta wanted to come to get her, I think she truly cares about Feyre, but I think there's more there than we know yet either.
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Under the mountain there with Amarantha. All
Mhm.
right, so Tamlin kills her.
Mhm.
She was kind of a giant dick too. I have to say she was one of the biggest villains in the series, but Tamlin's the ongoing villain for me. I don't know. Do you think he'll have a redemption arc, and um do you think he'll be that people will love him again? Or do
So
you think he will remain a dick?
I would love for Tamlin to have a redemption arc because I've said it before and I'll say it again. I could fix Tamlin.
You could fix
I can
Tamlin.
fix him. But I also see it going. So here's one of my crack theories is
Okay.
that I think Tamlin's going to kind of go off the deep end and either Lucian or somebody else meant from the spring court is going to take over and step in.
Oh, wait till we get into our next episode, because I
Yeah.
have
So
some
we're
really wild ones when it
Yeah,
comes
so we're
to
not ready
Tamlin.
for those theories yet, but I in my heart I want Tamlin to get a redemption arc. I see it going one of those two ways.
I have e I dislike him very much. When you first read the first book, you think he's like the most wonderful man. But there's moments and you're reading and you're like, he's kind of a dick. you
Yeah.
know, because like when he's like, she's clean. The moment that really got me is, I understand he really is trying. He buys her paints, and he's trying to make a nicer. Now I have to
Just
ask you this
paint,
now.
Feyre, just paint, it's fine.
Just that don't go outside. You're not allowed to go anywhere. You have to stay inside this beautiful mansion
You like
that
this, Feyre,
that
just sit and paint.
now, let me ask you, I have a question.
Mhm.
Do you think Feyre could paint? Because there is a theory that she could not paint and that she's like drawing little stick figures and stuff. Or do you think she is what is it, like a Rembrandt or something? Do you
Yeah.
think she can actually paint?
I think she can actually paint, but I absolutely love the theory that she can't. It cracks me up because I think that because she couldn't read or write, I think that all of her efforts went into her artistic
And
abilities. So I do think that she has that. If she couldn't
because
have anything else, she got that.
now think now, if she could not paint, remember, she is up at that cabin that was in Rhysand's family for what? Hundreds and hundreds of years, and she
Yeah.
painted all over in there. What if
Yeah.
it's a whole bunch of stick figures?
It's pretty
What if
funny.
it's a
And the
what
fact
if it's
and even in their home before that, she had painted all up and down the table, and, there's a part where she says that she covered it from Nesta, I think it is, so that Nesta couldn't say something nasty about it. It's pretty funny.
I don't know. I think it's funny. I've seen like different like videos that people have done like on Instagram or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's like, she's got a little stick
There's a
figure
stick figure.
painted. It's and they're like, "Wow, Farah, that's beautiful," and it just makes me laugh. But
Yeah.
I think she truly can paint. I think
Yeah.
she can, but it cracks my soul inside though when I think of
Very
it. Oh,
entertaining.
oh yeah. But so like now remember, so Tamlin, he's doing all this. Now see, this is where it comes in with Feyre. You know, she's there. Hey, I have to give her credit though. You know, she can't go back with her family. Her family is a bunch of assholes. I don't know why she keeps trying to want to go back to them when they've treated her so badly. I would have been quite content sitting in that house.
And remember, Papa Archeron tells her, if you somehow get out of this, do not come back. He tells her that. Do not come back, Feyre. But he doesn't know that she made the promise to Mom that she was going to stay together with the sisters.
I don't know. In my
I
mind,
agree. Screw them.
I would have I would have stayed in Springcourt. I would have been I mean, Tamlin was a dick, but yet he was very good looking. Now, okay, now let me ask you this here. Now, in the Springcourt, what do you think of the pool of starlight that's in the Springcourt?
Well, one, that was one of my favorite scenes. Um,
I know.
and I think that
That's when
was
we liked him.
yeah, and I think that was some kind of foreshadowing that was gonna be something bigger for Feyre, the whole starlight. Um,
Well, let's
I don't
talk
know how
about
I
that.
feel about it being in the spring court, though. I wonder if that is something significant.
Now we have this little guy here, surreal.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel bad for him in so many ways. He tries to explain to Feyre so many times to stay with the High Lord, then you'll be safe.
Which
You know,
one?
she really thought it was, and she's like, "Yes, I will stay with Tamlin, and I
Mhm.
will be fine." And he's like,
He's just sipping his tea.
he's like, "Well, we'll have to wait and see," kind of thing. I don't know. That part, that's one of the things that cracked me up. I love how that she caught him. Remember, Lucian was like, "They're the hardest thing in the world to capture."
Yeah.
And all she does is she makes a little snare and she throws a chicken cutlet out, and he's like,
Now
"Oh no, I've been caught
this
by this
I
human
know.
girl."
There's an interesting theory about the cereal also, with Throne of Glass, that the cereal is Kaltain Rompier, or however you say her name, because Selena Sardothian offers her a cloak in a dark dungeon. And
Mm.
so this whole thing with Feyre, or Alice,
So do we
Elise
believe the surreal is a man
telling
or a
her.
woman?
I think is just a being. I
Is
think
the
it's
being we don't
asexual. Yeah.
It's asexual.
Mhm.
The surreal is asexual, but it does like
Yeah.
passion. Does like passion.
Yeah.
And see, and then that's where I get mad at it. I anthe. That's the another time oh,
Yeah.
that
I hate
woman.
her.
I hate her. Well, we have a whole villain episode, so people don't worry about that. And then we can hate her all the more. But oh, she's a nasty woman and what she does to that sweet surreal.
Nasty. Yeah.
I love the surreal. That's a moment. See, again, I have said this before, when you know a book has been written very well and that you are very much into the story, that is a moment when this serial made me,
Yeah. It's
and that
like
tells you it's a good thing.
it
I
was
mean,
like
it's not a good thing what happened, but
yeah.
that tells you it's a good story
It was
when
like
you have that
Dobby
approach.
dying in Harry Potter. I don't know if
It's the
you read
same.
Harry Potter or watched any of them, but when Dobby
I
dies,
have
that's like the surreal for me.
I have I have read the first couple books in Harry Potter, and I've watched several of the movies.
The 3rd the 3rd book is my favorite. 3rd book and 3rd movie are the best.
I know I've read book 1 and 2, I believe is what I've read, because I got them on Amazon, like, on when you have Prime and you can have, a free book. You get 2 free books a month, and I remember I read them, and, then I have well, my children were still running around, but then I ran out of time, and I just never had time to finish reading them because those are big books too, but I can't say anything, these books are huge.
Yeah.
But I'm in my villain era now, and
Yeah,
I can't read that
exactly.
kind of
And
stuff.
you're also in your smut era, so there's no
Oh
spice in
god,
this.
no, I have to have that. I think now in all of these, in the Court of Thorns and Roses, the moment there when Feyre gets with Tamlin, that is very good. It is a good scene. It is good, but it's nothing like when she gets with Rhysand.
Nothing
Oh
like
my
it.
God, he's so
You know
good.
what?
And
You know what else pisses me off though is that the whole
mm,
however you say it, Callan May, whatever. Like, who do you think you are going and doing that while she's not allowed to come out?
oh,
Excuse
he
me,
was real
sir.
weird. Oh, I remember, and he's like, you need to stay in your room. Do not come out. No
Because
matter what, don't
if I
come out.
smell you, I'm coming after you.
Oh, yeah, and well, she's, like, real confused, she's like, she doesn't know what's going on, and then she asks Lucian, and Lucian's like, "Well, he's gonna go."
Don't worry, Feyre. It's an honor for him to be going and doing this for the land.
But, but no, when they're doing the whole thing and Lucian is talking to her and he's like, um, he's gonna go off and he's going to do this ceremony thing or whatever, and then he's
It's
gonna go
sex.
into the cave and there's gonna be all these maidens and he will pick one so that um they can so we'll have the earth will be prosperous again and
Yeah.
crops will grow. So Tamlin has to go have sex so that the crops will grow.
Basically what it is. Come on. And why is it that no other I mean, do any other courts have to do this or is it just the Spring Court?
I've only heard that it was the spring court. I've never seen any part that, because I never heard that Rhysand and them did this.
Right.
I don't know, but I could
So
imagine
why?
Baron doing it because he's kind of gross. I could imagine he
Mhm.
would do it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I know he does it, and now Lucian does say that he has gone and he has partaked in it as well.
Because they all get to
Just
pair up
have whatever lady
after
they want.
yeah, after Tamlin's done, it's just a big old orgy party and anybody can
Yes.
join in. Yeah.
Yes, and it's gross. I mean, Tamlin see, now, this here, that goes into another theory that we will be talking about in regards to Tamlin because of is it calamari? I wanna say calamari like the squid, and I don't think that's right. Is it?
Callan May, Callan My.
Call it
Have you
calamari
seen
like
the
the
videos of people like there's that guy with the really long hair and he has no shirt on and his jeans are all
when
cut up
he's
and he's dancing
yes,
and they're
yes, yes,
his dancing.
but that is him. And then they
Oh, it
have
is
the
my
one.
favorite.
Have you ever seen the one where it has the guy, it's an older guy and he's a farmer and he has the mask on and he's like, "Well, it's something like it's like a day's work or something like that." Or I don't know. I'll have to find it again. And it's hilarious and it cracks my soul. It's
It's
because
so good.
Tamlin's such a dick. I'm sorry for any of you that are still in love with him. I do not love him. I always
You're
think of
talking to
all the
me. You're talking straight to my face when you're saying that.
Now we're reading this series years after everything's been
Yeah.
published. You
Yeah.
realize there are girls out there that read the first book, loved it, all that kind of stuff, and they went and got Tamlin tattoos and stuff. Because there's a lot of girls out there that have had Rhysand tattoos and stuff like that, or
Oh,
Cassian
I
and stuff.
I would do that.
They have like the three mountains with the three little stars and stuff like that. There's a lot of that, so there has to be somebody out there that had Tamlin.
I haven't shown it yet, but I did recently get a book tattoo on my arm. We'll
Did
save that
you?
for another. Yes.
Oh, well,
My
aren't you
friend and
just
I,
is
we
that
got matching ones.
Is that the only tattoo you have, or do you have other
No. No, I have others. I
you
have a
have other
whole
tattoos?
this
I've
whole
never been
half sleeve.
I have not been brave enough to do that. I always I always said, and who knows if I'd ever do this, I don't know. I always wanted to get a tattoo on, like, on my back. This is my
Mhm.
thought, because 'cause I'll probably never do this, but this is my thought. I always wanted to get a phoenix rising up out of the ashes, because when I was married before, and I got divorced, and I always felt like I was, like, when I found my husband now and all that, I felt like I was a phoenix coming out of the ashes of what my
Yeah,
life was at that time,
I love it.
and that's what I always wanted to get, but I'm not brave enough.
That'd be a good
My
one.
no, my niece has all kinds of tattoos, and like I've told you before, she's an artist. She's actually done tattoo work and has given people tattoos and stuff, and she
It's
does
cool.
really, really neat work and stuff. You would think since I have her, I should I'm still not brave enough. I don't know. Does it hurt?
In some places. So, on my forearm, I would say in, like, most of the areas, elbow and lower, although getting up, like, close to the elbow crease, it starts getting tender, but everything
Okay.
else, it almost just felt like I was getting, like, somebody was just scratching, and it felt so good. Um, and then I got one on my thigh, and that one, it just started to hurt after all the shading. That's when it just, like, the skin is just raw, and you're just done.
They say,
So,
like, if you get your lower back, also known as the tramp stamp, they say that
yes.
hurts. They
Yeah,
say
I can
that one hurts
imagine.
because it's bone mostly there, because it's your
Yeah.
back of your pelvis.
Yeah. I would say, like, the more, like, exposed areas, like because, this skin has gone through, hitting sun and sunburns, and I feel like over
Yeah,
time, you're just, like, you don't have that same the pain tolerance is a lot higher. So, like, my husband got some in here in his and he said those hurt.
those
Those did
ones
not
hurt.
feel good. Yeah.
'Cause
Interesting.
I mean, I have given birth 3 times, but I had an epidural all 3 times. I don't know how well I would do in the pain department.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someday I'll get wild and crazy.
You never know.
Maybe I will, and that'll be something I'll
Yeah.
put it on my bucket list because we have a really good, tattoo place, that
Mhm.
isn't really actually far from where we live, and, people all over, in Louisville and that, they go and get tattoos done. It's called Tattoo Charlie's, I think is what it's called, and I've seen all kinds of amazing stuff. I know my husband's aunt, has had work done there, and they did her cat's paw print that she had,
Oh,
and then it was her mom's signature from a card. After her mom passed away, they tattooed that on her, but she has a whole bunch. I think she has, like, 13 or 14 tattoos last
yeah.
that I knew. But yeah, fun times. Ah, I don't know. I just have a lot of different thoughts, and I hope you all enjoyed, like, our little mini series that we got going on here. Um,
Yeah.
what I would like for you to do, and Chelsea and I, we both would like you to do, is, let us know what your wildest theory is of the Archeron sisters, their mom, and their grandmother. DM
Mhm.
us or tag us at Two Girls, One TBR, and then whatever you guys send us out, we'll talk about it at the beginning of our next episode. I hope
Yeah,
you all
and,
give us some interesting little thoughts.
yeah, and definitely when we release some of these clips, give us your feedback and tell us what you think about all the theories that we discussed today. You know, like I said, I want receipts about a lot of these things. So some people that have read it a little bit more recently, I don't annotate. I know you do, Rebecca, but
I do some. I have different things. I do have different things marked and stuff, but it has been a bit since I read these. I read these last fall.
yeah.
So, you know, let us let us know what your thoughts are. See what theories you have. Maybe you have different theories than us, or maybe we surprised you with some of the theories that we brought up today. Maybe you hadn't even thought about it because I didn't think about half of these, and the bone carver one is the one that got me. That when he was talking there, so that got me on that. You have any other thoughts with anything else with it? With their dad or any thing with the mama or the grandmother? Any other closing thoughts with them?
I don't have any for now. I think we're gonna have to dissect a lot more in the coming episodes. We're gonna have to finish dissecting the mother secrets, unique powers, all of the bonds and things. I think we have a
Oh,
lot more to discuss.
the next episode will be even more. I mean, Nesta and Feyre and Elaine, they're fascinating. But our next episode, I think, has a little bit more that people might like because I believe, if I remember correctly, the next episode deals with Tamlin, the Dick of ACOTAR. That is who he
The
is. But
high the high dick of Springcourt.
oh, he is. I don't know. I have him and I have Baron, the two of them, and I'm not sure which one's the bigger dick yet. I'm not,
To me,
because
Baron.
Tamlin,
I hate Baron
Baron's such
with
a
a
butthole.
passion. Yeah,
I
he's a
have
piece of
thoughts
shit.
on him as well. But there you go. That's episode 1 of our ACOTAR miniseries, diving into the Archeron sisters, their personalities, and the early seeds of magical powers. We've shared our theories, our fan speculation that we've been, found out about, and a little chaos for good measure.
Hmm? Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and leave a review to keep the chaos coming.
So, girls, keep your books filthy, your TBR unhinged, and good night, book babes.